Good evening. Please turn off or silence your cell phones. Welcome. On behalf of the Door County League of Women Voters, we thank you for taking the time to come out and hear the candidates seeking to represent you as supervisors of the Sevastopol Town Board. I'm Steve Vickman, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Door County. Candidate forums like this one are one part of the Door County League's nonpartisan mission to inform voters about candidates and elections in a civil, unbiased, and nonpartisan manner. Let me introduce the candidates who are contesting for 2 seats as town supervisors. They are, in alphabetical order, Derek Denil, Mark Haberli, Trent Olsen, and Jeanne Vogel. We thank all the candidates for running for office and for agreeing to take part in this forum. In a few minutes, they will have the opportunity to introduce themselves and talk about why they are running for this important position. The views expressed at tonight's forum are solely those of the candidates and not of the League of Women Voters of Door County. This forum is not an endorsement of any candidate. We also want to acknowledge and thank the Town of Sevastopol and Town Clerk Amy Flock for making this forum possible. Door County, along with the lands our facilities and parks are located on, are the ancestral homelands of the Menominee Nation. Currently, there are 11 federally recognized Native American sovereign nations in Wisconsin. We acknowledge these indigenous communities who have stewarded this land throughout the generations and pay respect to their elders, past and present. The Door County League of Women Voters began in 1952. We are one of 21 chapters in Wisconsin and one of hundreds across the country aligned with the National League, which is 104 years old this year. The League of Women Voters is nonpartisan and never supports or opposes any political party or candidate. However, we are also a political organization of women and men dedicated to encouraging and promoting good government through informed, active participation at all levels of our democracy, whether they be local, state, or national. We seek to empower voters through activities such as candidate forums and voter registration. We also study and advocate on governmental, legislative, political, social, and environmental issues that impact our local communities. The League of Women Voters of Door County actively works to eliminate any and all barriers to full participation within our elected governing bodies, the voting process and elections, as well as within our own organization. Our core message is, democracy is not a spectator sport, and we urge you to get involved. We also encourage all Door County citizens, regardless of political affiliations, to consider joining the League and help shape our efforts and advocacy. More information about the League can be found on the display table. You can also sign up if you just would like to receive updates of League activities. This forum is being live streamed on the Town of Sevastopol YouTube channel and also recorded. Tonight's event will be posted as soon as possible on the League of Women Door County's website at LWVdoorcounty.org and our Facebook page, as well as on Charter Channel 986. We encourage all of you, candidates and public, to spread the word. The forum will consist of anonymous written questions and candidate responses. On these question cards, We encourage you to ask questions about topics of concern. Questions must be relevant to the position of town board and must focus on issues and not on any specific candidate. Please use a separate card for each question you ask. As you finish writing your question, raise your card. Runners will come and pick them up. Each question then will be addressed to all candidates. A question posed to only one candidate will not be used. Questions need to be worded in a way that is unbiased and concise. Our question screeners will select questions covering a variety of issues. Finally, the League of Women Voters of Door County prides itself on organizing and moderating forums that are fair and nonpartisan. We expect and have never been disappointed in the civil manner in which the candidates and the public have conducted themselves. We know that code of conduct will also be held tonight. Because this is a forum and not a debate, the candidates have been instructed to only speak about and for themselves, their positions, and ideas, and not reference each other. The moderator will promote a civil atmosphere in which all candidates can respond to each question effectively. Toward that goal, we ask that there be no response to candidates' answers, no comments, cheering, jeering, or clapping, or any other form of demonstration. We thank you. Now I want to introduce tonight's forum moderator, League of Women Voters Door County Observer Corp. And Action Committee Co-Chair, Ann Schmagel.
Good evening. As was already stated, this will be a forum, not a debate. Each candidate is offered equal time to present their responses. The candidates have agreed to the following guidelines. Candidates will introduce themselves in a 2-minute opening statement. Each candidate will then be given up to 2 minutes to answer each question. Each question will be posed to all candidates. However, a candidate may decline to answer any question. No question will be directed to only one person. Each candidate will then have up to 2 minutes for a closing statement. The candidates have rolled the dice to determine who will speak first, after which the order of speaking will be alternated. League screeners will review the written questions submitted to eliminate redundancies and improper questions. If the screeners do not understand the question, it will not be asked. If used, questions will be asked as they are written. A copy of all submitted questions will be sent to the candidates after the forum so they can see the range of questions and issues you've raised. Candidates, please note the timekeepers will signal when you have 30 seconds remaining in your response, and again when it is time to stop. We ask that you conclude your thought and stop when signaled. No flash cameras, video cameras, or other visual or sound recording devices are allowed to be used during the forum except by the press, media, and forum sponsor. Candidates, you may not use any audio or video from the forum in or for personal or commercial advertising or promotion. We will ask questions till approximately 7:15 or until we run out of questions, whichever comes first. Candidates will then make their closing remarks. We will now hear opening statements from the candidates, beginning with candidate Denil.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum, and thank you to all the attendees present. My name is Derek. I was born and raised in Sturgeon Bay. Graduated from Sturgeon Bay High School. I then attended college at NWTC in Sturgeon Bay for diesel technology. In 2012, right after college, I met my wife, Stacy. We wed in 2012, which we then soon became residents of Sevastopol. So for the last 12 years, I've been a property owner in Sevastopol, and we now have 3 children, ages 5, 3, and 1. For daily life, I am an area operations manager for an automotive diagnostic company that services all of Northeast Wisconsin. We specialize in advanced automated driver assistance systems. Yeah, big terms here. And it's a specialty niche that has really developed in the last few years and enjoy doing that. For the last 2 terms, I've served on the town board as a town supervisor. Thank you.
Candidate Haberli.
Good evening. My name is Mark Haberli, 47 years old, born and raised. I was born and raised in Jacksonport, grew up on a family farm. I stayed on the farm until I was 23, and then I started my own trucking business. I done that for 9 years, and then went back to the family farm. And then as of 2017, I've been working at the garbage company, GFL now it's called, in Sturgeon Bay. In 2020, I bought property at 5090 Highway 57 right up the road here, and we placed a house there, and I've been there since then. I have 3 children. The oldest is 22 and the youngest is 14. I guess the reason I'm running for this is it was stated earlier about being a part of things, you know, and people always talk about they don't like the way things are being done or whatever it be, and I just feel that it's time that I feel like I'm ready to step into the place and help make these decisions that need to be made in the communities. Thank you.
Candidate Olsen.
All right, so first off, thank you to the League of Women Voters for organizing this event. It's good to let the community get to know the candidates. My name's Trent Olsen. I'm a lifelong resident of Sevastopol. Graduated from Sevastopol in 1998 and then went to college at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where I got a master's degree in professional accounting. After college, I was fortunate enough to be able to move back home, where I'm proud to raise my family. I'm a single father with 2 sons. I have an 8th grader and a senior at Sevastopol. The senior next year will be going to UW Stout for engineering, hopefully after a successful spring baseball season. I started my professional career in banking and then moved into manufacturing. I worked for WS Packaging in Green Bay for 10 years, and for the last 10 years I've been Director of Finance for Marine Travel Lift. This is my first time running for public office, and I'm hoping that my experience over the last 20 years in manufacturing and finance will be a benefit to the town. Some of the relevant duties that I perform that I hope will translate well into government are things like reviewing and negotiating contracts, hiring and dealing with employment issues, resource planning for cash, assets, people, working with legal issues. And I've also applied for several grants, presented them in Madison, and I've been given a couple of 6-figure grants for workforce development. As for why I'm running, my kids are getting older and I have a little bit more time to give back to the community, and I thought this would be a good way to get involved. Over the past few years, I've noticed a few instances where issues were brought to the town board, and instead of the board kind of analyzing the evidence, some internal biases shut down the issues, and I just don't believe that was fair. So I think it's important for elected officials to go into situations with an open mind, weigh the data that's presented, research issues, and come to the conclusion that's in the best interest of the town. Thank you.
Candidate Vogel.
Thank you. I would also like to express my thanks to the League for putting on this forum tonight. So my name is Jeanne Vogel. I've been married to husband Dale, who's in the audience, for over 48 years. We have 2 adult children. I currently serve as Town of Sevastopol Supervisor. I was elected in 2020 and re-elected in 2022. I'm seeking re-election to continue to serve the people of the Sevastopol community. I have served as chair of the Communications and Technology Committee since April of 2020. Under my leadership, the committee's primary focus has been to bring reliable, high-speed internet to everyone in the Sevastopol community. Our efforts have led to a public-private partnership with AT&T. Implementation of their fiber network should be approximately 24 months and will begin soon. Along with Supervisor Linda Waite, I represent Sevastopol as a commissioner of the Door County Tourism Zone Commission. My background is diverse: farm kid, medical assistant, bank teller, agricultural business owner, and for over 25 years, a licensed real estate professional. With my considerable knowledge of negotiations, financing, and contract preparation, I guided buyers and sellers through every step of the real estate process. I have served as vice president, president, past president of a nonprofit organization, and continue to be involved in many outreach projects since 2012, devoting over 1,000 hours of service. We have many people in our community we lovingly refer to as seniors, with a wish to stay in their homes. I recently began to work with a group of volunteers supported by Do Good Door County with the goal to help people age in place. Thank you.
The first question of the forum goes to candidate Haberli. What experiences or background do you have that will make you a good and effective town supervisor?
I've had several different positions of running business and stuff, and I've always been a person that is very open to listen to people. You know, it's like we say, everything is in the best interest of the township, and you have to be able to listen to each person's opinion and make the best decision out of that. So that, to me, that's my biggest thing, is being able to listen to everybody, and my hope is that people have that connection with me, that they know they can talk to me about any kind of a decision or any kind of an opinion that they have.
Candidate Olsen.
I think, so as I mentioned in the opening statements, the biggest piece would be resource planning. Do a lot of that for work. I've done that for a long time. Also, as far as negotiations and things, I do work for a smaller company that works for a very large company that's not used to hearing, does business with a lot of large companies that are not used to hearing no. So I know the issues that I can bend on, I know the issues that I can negotiate on, but there's a lot of issues that I'm unable to, and I have to take a hard stance on those, and I'm used to doing that. I like to listen to people. I like to go into things with an open mind, hear what they have for input, but then I want to make sure that I put in the research, go through the town records, make sure laws are good before I make a final decision.
Candidate Vogel.
Well, I've sat in this seat, not this seat, actually, two over, for almost 4 years, and I've experienced a number of issues that have come before the board. We always try to be reflective, look over all the information, ask questions, read over letters, comments, anything that comes along with that issue, and then just to be fiscally responsible with the tax dollars, and to, again, listen. People can make comments for and against, and we try to weigh that out as we're making decisions as a board. Thank you.
Candidate Denil.
Thank you. For the last 4 years, I have attended a lot of meetings. I am also on the Planning Commission Committee and the Park and Rec Committee. Being able to attend all those meetings and participate also gives me the knowledge and background of current problems, past problems, and upcoming problems, and have the ability to make decisions off of that. But my main goal as running for town supervisor is I want to provide a different mindset, way of thinking for a demographic like myself, younger, with a family trying to live in this community. Thank you.
Our next question will begin with candidate Olsen. How did you prepare yourself for the position of supervisor?
I guess, recently I've been going through a lot of the town minutes for the past few years, just looking at the issues that have been popping up and talking to some people in the town, but also just kind of going through some of the ordinances, figuring out what laws we have. I know there's going to be a learning curve coming into this new. Luckily, I'm a fast learner, but I am eager to get started with this. But I think the biggest thing is really listening to the issues that the people have. I know that sometimes that can be a slippery slope with as far as people asking for too much that's maybe outside of the town's what the town can do, and sometimes we get questions that are more county issues. But Really just, yeah, so talking to people and kind of doing some research into the ordinances.
Candidate Vogel,
Could you repeat the question?
certainly. How did you prepare yourself for the position of supervisor?
Well, originally, it is a learning curve, so 4 years ago, it was a different situation, but having served now for almost 4 years, there's many things I've learned about how government works and how important, I think the main thing is sitting in this seat and thinking about what it's like to represent, and it's not an easy task, because you don't really want to make any one particular person unhappy or any group unhappy because of decision you made, but you try to just view things over an overview and then come up with what you think is the best decision based on the evidence before you and what people have to say. So I think that serving on the committees, being in a leadership role, leading the Communications and Technology Committee, as I have done, and successfully have come to a contract with an internet service provider. I think that's going to make all the difference in the world to the community of Sevastopol to have high-speed internet. So, thank you.
Candidate Denil,
5 years ago, I prepared by attending all the meetings. I sparked a little interest, thanks to family and friends. They thought I, would be good at this, and started attending meetings, and they were right. I did have an interest in this, on how the town business works.
Candidate Haberli,
Back in Jacksonport, I used to attend more of the meetings, and I guess I do believe it is a learning curve and understanding the people, and so it's just one of those things. How do you prepare for it? You start doing a little research and whatnot, and yeah, so like I say, I guess to me, it's going to be a learning curve for me, and I understand that.
our third question will begin with Candidate Vogel. What are the major issues facing the town of Sevastopol? What approach would you take to resolve this issue?
Frankly, I don't see any critical issue before us. We have a reval going on, and that's necessary because of statute. When percentages get equalized and values and get out of whack, then we have to, by state statute, have to take care of that, and that's in process. I don't see any upcoming negative things. I mean, roads are always a concern. People have concerns about their roads, and we try to, every May, we have a meeting and evaluate the roads, and we have something called Whistler, which lists the, kind of rates the grade of the roads and, the condition. And so we take a ride and, actually look at them and make those determinations. So those are things people will, call or email and say, I have a concern about my roadway, I think it needs attention, and different things like that. And there have been questions about the reval, and we've tried to answer those. So I don't see any particular major issue that will, unless, of course, something could come before us.
Candidate Denil,
Echo what Jeannie said. I don't see any major issues. There's a lot of things going on in our town, including the reval, but also we have park improvements going on, possibly the updating of a new town plan, as well as always updating our ordinances. Take a look at some of our old ordinances and see if there's any things that we need to update. One thing, as far as issues, nuisance properties, we are currently looking at, and how we can resolve those issues. Thank you.
Candidate Haberli,
Yes, I would have to agree strongly with Jeannie with the road problems. I mean, it is something that, as you drive around, you can see that the roads have issues, and is there different ways that we can approach it? The other issue that I've had, that I've been approached about many times, is with the side-by-sides. I mean, I know it went through here once and it was shut down, but I've had so many discussions about it that I think it's something that needs to be revisited. Other than that, like you say, it's a small town. I don't see too many big issues.
Candidate Olsen.
Yes, sir. There's not a lot of, not pressing. Over the past couple of years, there've been some major issues, and I think the town board's done very well on those. The short-term rental ordinance was done very well. As Supervisor Vogel mentioned, the broadband expansion, I think that was very important for the town. From talking to people, some of the issues that they've brought up were making sure that we still have public access to public beaches. Some have been approached to close down certain beaches and make them private use, so I would definitely be fighting against that. I want to make sure that all of our town parks are kept open and protected. Yeah, that's about it.
Our fourth question, we will begin with candidate Denil. What personal traits do you think are important to have as an elected town supervisor?
Personal traits, well, I can assure you that public speaking is not my best trait, but I hope to get that a little bit better in the next few years. Personal traits, as far as town supervisor, I'd say you gotta be a calm, level-headed, and take all of the input you can before you make any decisions.
Candidate Haberli.
Spot on with that. You have to be able to listen to the people and be calm about things and have good, open discussions with people about their situations.
Candidate Olsen.
Yeah, echoing that, but also adding just, sometimes we need to make decisions that may not be in our own best interest. We may have to go in the best interest of the town, or, sometimes we're going to get outvoted on certain issues. So it might be a 4-to-1 vote where I'm in the minority, but it would still be my job to be the supervisor and support the town in any way that I could.
And Candidate Vogel.
Honesty, integrity, being a good listener, having an even temperament, always willing to go beyond what's asked.
Thank you. Our fifth question will begin with candidate Haberli. What responsibilities does an elected supervisor have to the job and the public?
To the job, it is the township, being fair and honest to the community of the people. I'm sorry, how was it worded?
What responsibilities does an elected supervisor have to the job and the public?
And just making good decisions, like we say, it's not always going to be in everyone's favor, but you still have to make decisions and keep things moving forward.
Candidate Olsen.
So you got to fulfill the roles, creating budgets, tax levies, maintaining infrastructure, maintaining public lands. We earmark funds. And other than that, yes, it's going to be tackling issues as they come in, listening to people, going through the evidence, seeing sometimes what other towns have done in similar situations, really researching it, getting back to people, but making sure that everybody feels that their question was valid and that I've heard their opinion and that I've honestly looked into it.
Candidate Vogel.
I think it goes back to the traits. Of course, you need to have transparency in government. So, of course, you have all the public hearings and the annual meeting where you have public input, the budget hearing where the people can respond to anything they see on the budget that they don't understand. So being totally forthright and understanding all these issues and all the things that come with the job, and always really realizing that you're still always learning, and listening is also a wonderful quality, and respect for the people you represent, and respect for the other people that serve on the board.
Candidate Denil.
One of the main responsibilities that really opened my eye when I started was always being available for phone calls, emails. Something may come up on a weekend where you got to call the highway department. That's always a responsibility of the town supervisor. Also with that is staying professional with no matter what you do in the public. Thank you.
Question number 6, we will begin with Candidate Olsen. How do you intend to communicate with and/or seek input from the community on important issues?
Well, town halls are always very nice when there's a major issue, but I'm always available by phone or email. I shouldn't say always. During my workday, I tend to keep that more for work, but then after work, I've been answering some few phone calls lately and some messages online. But I don't mind meeting with someone face-to-face either.
Candidate Vogel.
Repeat the question, please.
How do you intend to communicate with and/or seek input from the community on important issues?
Communications, I think part of, when you're at a meeting and where you're conducting a meeting, being part of a meeting, just, again, being able to communicate and listen, always available reasonably and with phone or email. When it comes to meetings, committee meetings, conducting, everyone is welcome to attend a committee meeting. So if anyone has some input at that meeting, I'm happy to always listen. I just being able to listen and actually hear people, and then be able to respond in a way that's respectful.
Candidate Denil.
My phone and email are always on 24/7, so anytime somebody wants to reach out to me, they can. But it's not also what people say in meetings, it's what you hear before and after, and also who you catch in the grocery store. You may just pull you aside and say, hey, what do you really think about this? And that's really important.
Candidate Haberli.
That is one of the things that I would really like to try and get more people involved in the town board meetings. Get them that they want to be part of the town. It's like I said before, sometimes they don't feel their voices heard or whatever, so I would like to get more people that, when it comes to a town meeting, and not just for the big things, but for a lot of the things that people know what's going on in the community. And I'm always out there, always willing to talk to people. My phone is always there.
Our next question, we will begin with Candidate Vogel. What should the balance be between environmental issues and development and land use?
We have a comprehensive plan. I think the board, in particular the planning, there's a system. So anything that would come up in regard to zoning change that would somehow affect, an environmental situation, that would be something the Planning Commission would be addressing. And in that process, we rely on in government, you rely on committees to bring that information and a study to the board, right, what their findings are. So I think that in the case of that, a lot of that might fall under the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission would do the, there's 2 people that are presently on the board that serve on the Plan Commission besides some citizens, and they come to their decision based on the information that they have. And then they bring it before the board, and then the board evaluates that information. Typically, we vote with the suggestion of the Plan Commission and vote in favor of what their findings have shown. So, thank you.
Candidate Denil.
Yeah, between environment and land use, this is Door County. It is beautiful. Where else can I take my kids on a summer day and ask, well, is it a lake beach day or is it on the bayside? So keeping our environment protected is very important. And also keeping the rural character of the town of Sevastopol is very important as well. Thank you.
Candidate Haberli.
Yes, it is Door County, so we do have a very unique geography. So I think there's a delicate balance, and learning that from Jeannie, that you have the planning commission and stuff like that to help you with it. I mean, you would have to use their suggestions and think of them very highly, so.
Candidate Olsen.
Right, and yeah, it is a broad question, because really it's a situation by situation type of an issue. Health and safety is always going to be a priority. After that, yes, there's a balance between conservation and progress. Yes, we understand we need to still be building, but we do want to maintain all the natural beauty of the county. So it'd be listening to the neighbors in the area, kind of checking in to see what they're doing, how that's working, and how this would affect the people in the area.
For our next question, we will begin with Candidate Denil. The town's comprehensive plan is up for renewal by 2028. Do you have any suggestions on further enhancing the quality of life for our Sevastopol residents that might be incorporated into that plan?
Yeah, the town plan is up for renewal, and I don't believe there will be any major changes in that. Our last time I believe Linda was on that. I wasn't on it yet, but last time they renewed it, they hit a lot of key points that weren't in it previously. So I don't see any major changes coming in the future on that.
Candidate Haberli.
I don't know, I guess one of the things I've been thinking about, and that would maybe be the position or the spot to start thinking about it, was, is there something different we can do with our parks and stuff, that just to give the citizens something more to do on a weekend or on a Friday night, that they can go out with the kids and do something.
Candidate Olsen.
It's great when you write something down and the guy before you steals it. But as far as the public parks and things, I think I'd like to advertise those a little more. Make sure that everybody in the town and beyond the town knows the areas that we have. We have a lot of great parks, a lot of great public areas for people to utilize. And a lot of times it seems like Sevastopol is an area that people kind of drive through on the way to, up north or down to Sturgeon Bay. And I think it'd be nice to advertise those parks a little more and show off some of the areas that we have.
And Candidate Vogel.
You may be referring to the Door County Comprehensive and Farmland Preservation Plan. That's going to result in long-range policy guide for how the county plans to manage growth, development in the coming years. So your input is important. So you can be part of the blueprint to shape the future by creating sustainable, resilient, and vibrant communities. So we all need to have input in this process. You, all of us together. So speak up and for the places we care about.
The next question, we will begin with Candidate Haberli. Tell me about the community service projects you have been involved in within the past year.
I have not been involved in one.
Candidate Olsen.
No, really just helping out with kids' sports teams and that kind of thing, and concession stands and that kind of deal.
Candidate Vogel.
I am a member of the Door County Master Gardener Association. You'll hear a little bit of that in my closing remarks, but been involved with them since 2011, 2012. Have donated, have over 1,000 hours of my time to that group, and there's many outreach programs. It's not that we just dig in dirt. We do dig in dirt, but we also have projects. the Boys and Girls Club with the garden boxes they have there for growing, and the parks. We're very involved in all, even state parks. There's the Garden Door, which is a gem, and visitors love to come there, and they get educated because there's signs, and if a gardener is there, they can talk to people about plants, and it's a beautiful place to come to, so there's a place of peace and beauty that people can come to, not just enjoy all the beautiful things we have in general here in Door County and in our town, such as Cave Point, which Jacksonport does not, it's not part of Jacksonport, it is part of Sevastopol. Make note. So they do love to visit there, and as I said in my opening remarks, I'm just getting involved in a group of, it's called Creating Villages, and it's for Do Good Door County is kind of our guide, and so we hope to help people age in place.
Candidate Denil.
I have not been involved in very many community projects in the area, but I am an active member on the Park and Rec Committee and also the Plan Commission that helps with zoning in the area.
The next question will begin with candidate Olsen. Looking at the town's finances, how do you feel about the town's net position?
Haven't done a whole lot of digging into it, or I haven't done a whole lot of detail into it. But from the meetings that I've attended, things sound like we've been in a surplus position. The broadband is expensive, but it's been earmarked for. The town's been doing a very good job of applying for grants for certain issues. So I believe we're handling things very well.
Candidate Vogel.
We're in great financial shape in this town. We are. And thanks to all of you for paying your taxes. But also this board has done a great job of being fiscally responsible with your tax dollars. Broadband is going to be paid through a tax levy. Yes, we do have some, there is a grant that's been applied for. It's called the Capital Projects Fund, and it's a $42 million fund. AT&T has asked for about $816,000 in grant funding. We're actually going to find that out, and I just found out today that we are going to find that out probably late tomorrow or the following morning if we are actually going to have received a grant. We've positioned ourselves very well. Amy's been terrific as her town clerk treasurer, moving money around to make sure that we get the best interest that we can, and that's been very significant over the past year. Look at that.
Candidate Denil.
Same as what Jeanne has said, and thank you to our town clerk who makes it very easy to read the budget line items. Yeah, we currently have enough to make that first payment for that AT&T broadband loan, so that's a hefty chunk of money. Also, with all the CDs and bank rates that Amy can find, we make a lot of interest on what we have in our reserve funds. In general, I think we are just doing great in our position at the moment, and also staying as one of the lowest tax rates in the county.
Candidate Haberli.
As he says, lowest tax rate, I mean, my taxes actually went down like $20 this year, so I was happy with that. So yeah, I don't know a lot about the actual fiscal status of us right now, but I do believe that's something that that needs to be learned, and be sure that it's followed and responsibly watched.
Our next question will begin with candidate Vogel. Are there any initiatives for the town that you would like to propose while in office?
I haven't thought about that, I'll have to admit. Well, I've been so focused on broadband that that's consumed my life for the past 2+ years. Initiative, well, continue to work on the park. I think the town park is a great asset. We've done the work on the pickleball courts and the basketball court, which I think everyone has seen. It looks terrific. Hopefully, people have played on it as well. The next part that we're working on is the restroom, and I believe the concession stand will be part of that. And again, thanks to the clerk, we were able to get I think it was about $90,000 in grants for the toilet building. So that's terrific. Yeah, whatever comes up, if somebody is interested in a particular thing, bring it to us. We'll be happy to look at it.
Candidate Denil.
Initiatives for the town. When I first started, I thought bringing our own fire service would be a great idea. After seeing the reports from years previously, that financially that is not a great option. As far as other things I'd like to see happen in the future, we are constantly improving our parks, our town park over here, with restrooms and pickleball courts. The next thing on the list I'd like to see would be upgraded playground equipment. That park is getting used quite a bit more than what it used to. So that's one of my initiatives. The next one would be, I'd like to see a little bit better long-range planning on our road systems for repairs. Thank you.
Candidate Haberli.
I agree with Derek on the long-range road planning. I think that's something that needs to be a very important long range. And like I said before, I guess to me, I'd like to see more people get involved in the township in the decisions that are made. That to me is a very important initiative.
Candidate Olsen.
So as I mentioned in one of the prior questions, a little advertising for the public lands would be good. I'd also make sure that we're kind of expanding the opportunities for permanent housing, both for working age and retired individuals.
Our next question will begin with Candidate Denil. Would you support flying the Rainbow Pride flag during the month of June, which is Pride Month, to support LGBTQIA+ members of the town of Sevastopol?
Honestly, I will not comment on that. That is a personal question that I will not leave up for debate at this time.
Candidate Haberli.
I'd prefer not to comment.
Candidate Olsen.
I'll comment on that one. I don't believe the town flag should be flown for anything. Really, I don't mean any disrespect to the LGBTQIA community, any friends in that area, but we don't need anything on the front of the building that could be viewed as divisive. I know that that's a flag that should be bringing everyone together, but once we hang one flag, I see it as kind of a slippery slope. Can we hang this flag, and then it might end up being something that really offends somebody, and that's what I'd like to avoid.
Candidate Vogel.
I totally support the LGBTQ community. I have many friends in that in their lifestyle, in that lifestyle. The question has come before. It has not come before the board. There was a letter written that I was aware of that went to the chairman. The chairman made the decision that the flag would not be flown. That is, in my opinion, that is his right to make that decision. I know the county has recently made a decision that the flag will not be flown, the pride flag will not be flown on county poles. So I truly hope that we might look at that totally as a board at some point in the future.
Our next question will begin with Candidate Haberli. Would you be interested in reopening the launching ramp at Whitefish Bay?
I believe it's something that needs to be looked at. Like they talk with the planning commission and stuff. What are the pros and cons of it?
Candidate Olsen.
Yeah, that would, it would be great to have another boat launch ramp between Sturgeon Bay and Bailey's Harbor, I think are the two closest, or at the end of County T. Yeah, it would be great. I'm not sure what the condition of the bay is, so that would definitely take a study to make sure, see what the cost feasibility is for reopening that, or whether it should be at a different location, maybe closer to Cave Point or something like that.
Candidate Vogel.
I think I'm confused on the launch, because we do have a launch at Whitefish, I thought it was Whitefish Bay. But, and it was recently re-blacktopped and that sort of thing. So as far as I know, it's still usable.
Candidate Denil.
Yeah, that topic was brought up a few months ago as well. The chairman referred to a feasibility study done years ago, and the cost to get another ramp put in at one of those bayside locations with the sands shifting would be a constant upkeep on maintenance. I would like to see another ramp in that area, but I don't see it happening with the kind of landscape that area has.
This will be the last question before closing statements. We will begin with candidate Olsen. How will your election make the town board better?
Really, I hope that the town can benefit from my experience. I've got a lot of fiscal planning experience, a lot of resource planning, and I hope that some kind of a new voice brings a benefit to the town.
Candidate Vogel.
I think I've served the community well in this position. I have used all my effort to bring the high-speed internet to this community, along with my committee. I've shown leadership. I've shown listening skills. I've shown my ability to be adaptable and flexible. And I think, well, I hope the voters feel the same.
Candidate Denil.
I'd love to serve for another 2 years. It's been a real eye-opener and a learning experience. I wouldn't be where I am today without this opportunity. A lot to learn in the last 4 years, a lot to learn in the next few years as well. And I would love to continue.
Candidate Haberli.
I would also like to learn the things of it and be able to bring in a new perspective on some of the issues and help keep the township going forward in a very positive manner.
Okay. Candidates, you now have up to 2 minutes to make closing remarks. We will begin with candidate Vogel.
Thank you. I believe an engaged voter is an informed voter. Sometimes inaccurate information is posted on social media. There is an alternative to be in the know regarding the town meetings. You can watch the meetings live, as some are doing tonight, or on your local public access Spectrum channel or on the Sevastopol YouTube channel. These meetings are also recorded, so you can watch them at a time that's convenient for you. By tuning in, you will hear accurate information firsthand rather than relying on social media. If you have a question or comment, you can email or call the office. Minutes are posted on the Sevastopol website. I'm grateful to the voters of Sevastopol for the privilege to serve as your town supervisor. Over the course of nearly 4 years, I have tried to make sound decisions based on critical information and community responses on numerous issues from bridges to roads to ordinances. Along with my fellow supervisors, I have strived to be fiscally responsible with your tax dollars. As chair of the Communications and Technology Committee, I have devoted numerous hours to bring high-speed, reliable internet to everyone in the Sevastopol community. I am passionate about this project. I truly believe that access to high-speed internet will improve the lives of countless children and adults in so many ways. My work is not finished. I would like to see this project through to completion. I hope you agree, and I hope that I have earned your vote. Thank you.
Candidate Denil.
Hard to follow that speech, Jeanne. Thank you, everyone, for coming again. It's been an honor serving for the last 4 years, and thank you, gentlemen, for running as well. To have interest in this is a special thing, and being dedicated enough, so thank you.
Candidate Haberli.
I'd like to thank everybody, and on the same hand, it's a new experience to us all, and I guess I'd like to have the chance to serve the people of Sevastopol and make the community a better community.
Candidate Olsen.
And thank you to the League of Women Voters for putting on the forum once again. And thank you to the audience for all the great questions. Someone put us on our heels, that's great. Just thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for listening to me. I really hope that I get a chance to talk to more of you as we get closer to the election. I look forward to working for the town.
Thank you, candidates, for participating in tonight's forum and for serving if elected. You are invited to remain for a few minutes after the forum to give the public the opportunity to meet and visit with you personally. Thank you, audience and viewers. We hope this forum has been helpful to you as a voter. Remember, the general election is on Tuesday, April 2nd. Current voter and election information can be found at myvote.wi.gov. There you can access information about voter registration, update your name or address, and learn about absentee voting, polling locations, and what's on your ballot. Thanks to all of you for attending and participating. Please let others know they can view this forum at lwvdoorcounty.org and on Charter Channel 986. Thank you, candidates. Please join me in a round of applause for all the candidates.